Good morning, Flosstube. It is a beautiful Easter morning here in Cartersville, Georgia. I am Dina, and this is my 10th Flosstube. I wanted to start off by sharing something I had read yesterday on Spinster Stitcher's blog. And I used to follow her years ago. She's hilarious. I would just love to hang out with this woman. And she was doing a lot of cross stitching, and then she got more into needlepoint, which I can't afford to do. So I didn't follow her as much. And then yesterday I was watching Flosstube and someone mentioned Spinster Stitcher again. I thought, let me go see what she's up to. And it was just perfect timing because of a post that she put yesterday. I'm seeing lots of new Flosstubers out there, lots of, Flosstube number one. And it's fantastic. I love this community. I love seeing everyone put themselves out there. But I'm also seeing lots of thumbs down on these people's videos. It could be McKenna's son running around doing this. But I wanted to read to you what Spinster Stitcher wrote. And I'm just going to read a little bit of it, so excuse my eyes while I look at my iPad. She said, the title of her post yesterday is, "In which I decide to be the boss of everybody." She said, "I," insert her name, "do solemnly swear that on this day, the 15th of April, in the year 2017, that I will take and accept the oath of sassiness. This oath, which I undertake freely and with soundish mind and whole heart, means that heretofore I will stop all stitchy shaming if I have been engaged in such, and more importantly, I will heretofore, henceforth, and forthwith, stop all self-shoulding, forever and ever, upon my sacred vow, by the powers vested in me. Amen." She says, enough is enough. Quit apologizing. If you've got bad lighting, who cares? Nose itching, paper crinkling, camera focus, dog, baby, cat, whatever. She says, get over it. She said, this community of like-minded souls is comprised of a lovely, gentle, wholesome, creative pastime loved by the kindest, most talented, bravest, smartest, and genuinely most wonderful people on the planet. What in the name of all that is holy do we have to feel bad about? And then another thing that I said, just a long post, but I really like this. She said, where is it? Too much stash? Sorry, there's no such thing. So when someone's spending money on stuff, all right, big deal. Maybe you spent the rent money on cross-stitch charts, but think about the shop owner or designer that you contributed to. And so maybe that's helping them out, or it is definitely helping them out. She says it's not like we're running a crack den or selling puppies into slavery. It's all about stitching. So I really liked that. And so for all you new Flosstubers, keep on doing it. Keep being brave. Put yourself out there. It's a great community. You're going to get some thumbs down. I'm sure I have 2 or 3 at this point. One of them from McKenna's son, but the 4-year-old. But just know that people love it. I love sitting in my stitchy chair, pulling out something to stitch and putting on someone's Flosstube. And, it's such an isolated craft. There's not a whole lot of us out there. I'm lucky to live in an area where there's a few of us and we do manage to get together. But when I put on someone's Flosstube and I'm stitching, it almost feels like they're sitting on the sofa next to me and we're just chatting. They're doing all the chatting. But I get to see what they're up to and it's just fun. Okay, so that's my welcome. Also welcome to any of my students who have nothing better to do than to watch Miss Sherwood ramble on about cross stitch. All right, so today I have an FFO. I have an FO, an update on a SAL, a little bit of math, some lost and found, and a little bit of haul. Also, I've got a helpful hint or two I do these videos about once a month, and I like to have something, maybe a teachable moment, more than just me rambling about what I'm doing. A little bit of maybe you learn something from me. Okay, so my first FFO, I think I started this, I wrote it down somewhere, 2007 maybe. It is Little House Needleworks Song of the Seasons, and I'm in the Soulful Stitchers group, and this is one of my Year of Whips challenges. And so when I started this, I had done this sun way up there, and then hadn't done anything since. So yeah, I was pleased with this. It was an enjoyable stitch. I messed up a little bit in here and had to do a little bit of frogging, but for the most part, it's fairly spot on accurate. And then I went to Hobby Lobby and picked up this frame and did it myself. And I'll give you some more info on that in a second. My FO finished this last night. This is Frosted Pumpkins, Mary and Bride. It was their Christmas mystery stitch along. And so I started it in November. So I think that, they released the first half of the pattern in November, second half December 3rd or 4th. Well, there's no way I'm going to finish that in December because that's the crazy busy time of year. It's not perfect. You know, somehow I gained an extra stitch along the way. I don't care. And I think I am going to like a flat fold finish and prop this up underneath my Christmas tree. Because we don't do very many presents. And so I just like to decorate under the tree with little Christmassy things. So that is my FO. And I think I showed you this, so I'm not going to really talk about it. I am behind on this. This was March's Cloudsfactory Women in History thing. So that was March. I've still got to do April. And I will probably start that maybe later this week. All right, so my helpful hints. First, down here in the corner, this little section right here, that is supposed to be Weeks Dye Works brick. I ran out about right here. I had these 4 scallops that needed to be Weeks Dye Works, and I do not have a local needlework shop near me. I could have ordered something online, but I know if I order something online, even if it's a $3 skein of floss, I'm probably going to throw more stuff in my basket to make the shipping worth it. And so I thought, I'm not doing that for 50 stitches. And so I faked it. I used my DMC chart and looked at this and tried to find 2 colors that were pretty close. And then just randomly stitched. I didn't follow any sort of pattern, but I just made sure that I alternated those 2 colors so that it looked more modeled, and did it. Called it a day. Didn't have to wait on an order to come in. So that was my helpful hint. You can fake it. All right, next thing I want to do is talk a little bit about how I framed this. So this is where a little bit of math is going to come in. So let me pause this and switch over to some photos. All right, when I had finished some of my pillow ornaments, I ironed fusible interfacing onto the back, and I decided, why don't I do this on this piece also? If it had been an heirloom piece or something, I wouldn't have done this, but it's just a quick stitch. So I picked up some fusible featherweight interfacing and ironed it onto the back to help it have structure and maybe not sag over time. Okay, here we go with some math. So my frame opening was 12 inches by 16 inches, and my design size when I measured from stitch to stitch was 10 1/8 inches wide and 12 1/4 inches tall. So I knew that on the width, when I did 12 minus 10 1/8, and realized I was going to need 1 7/8 inches fabric extra on the width. So that's going to be my non-stitched areas. But I needed to split that on the left and the right. So I changed the 1 7/8 to an improper fraction. So I had 15/8 extra on the width that I needed, but I wanted it split, so I needed to divide it by 2. So that's the same thing as taking half. So if I take half of 15/8, just multiply that denominator of 8 by 2. And so 15/16 inches is the amount of fabric I needed on the left and on the right to center it. Then I did the same thing for the length. I had 16-inch opening. My stitched area was 12 1/4 inches long. So when I subtracted that, that was 3 3/4 inches. As an improper fraction, that's 15/4 of an inch. Dividing it by 2 is the same as taking half of that. So just multiply that denominator of 4 by 2. And so that means I needed 15/8 extra fabric on the top and the bottom. In order to have the fabric fold over to the back of the frame without any overlap, I took a square piece of paper, cut it in half along the diagonal, and that gave me a 45-degree angle that I could mark. And so I marked a 45-degree angle all the way around, and that's what I decided I would cut so that I could fold it over without any overlap. So here's what it looked like after I cut, not so straight, but cut off that 45-degree angle on each side. Okay, so just folded the pieces over, used just some clear packaging tape, so I probably should have used something that would protect it more over time, but that's what I did. It looks pretty neat on the back. I was so excited about finishing it that I forgot to sign the front of it, or stitch my initials and the time on the front, and so I just put a little index card on the back with the information. Oh, there it goes. Took me 4 years to stitch this because it sat in a closet for a while. And the last little bit that I want to share with you is how much the frame cost me. So the last little bit of bonus math you have. So the frame was $22, 40% off at Hobby Lobby. And so if you're taking 40% off of a price, that means you're actually paying 60% of the price. So quick way to do mental math is I had $22 and I needed to pay 60% of that. 60% of $20 is $12, so I knew the frame was going to cost me a little bit over $12. And here is a picture of the finished project hanging on the wall. I'm pleased with it. I think it looks pretty good. It's hanging in a little cubby hole where my coat closet is at. That was finished number 2 for the year for me. Okay, so now some upcoming events. I did decide, a little bit of arm twisting, to go to the Flosstube retreat in Austin in October. Stitching May was texting me, asking me if I'd signed up, and I said no, I really hadn't decided if I want to do it because I don't feel like I'm one of the major Flosstube contributors. Although I really wanted to go. I mean, these people whose Flosstubes I follow, it's going to be like, oh my God, celebrity there. And then I saw, I think there were maybe 3 spots left. I thought, oh my gosh, okay, I got to make a decision. And so I said, hey, I'm going to do it. I'm going to sign up. I can always change my mind later. And it's, after I signed up, I realized it's my birthday weekend that weekend. So I think the fee to attend was $75. That just covers the meeting room. I've got a roommate. She's an art teacher in California. So we'll have lots of teaching stories to share. I don't think she's posted a Flosstube video yet. I think she's made one but hasn't posted it. And then it's my birthday weekend, so I told my husband, I said, hey, you know what you can do for my birthday is you can get me the flight out there to Austin, because he flies all the time for work, so he's got all these frequent flyer miles. So I booked my flight yesterday. I had to pay $11. I think that's like the 9/11 fee or something. So that'll be my little birthday treat. And so that'll be a lot of fun. Emily lives here in Cartersville with me. Stitching May lives not too far away. I think Organic Granny is going. I'm trying to remember what other Georgia girls are going. So a few of us will be heading into the Lone Star State. And then I also signed up for a stitching retreat in Pigeon Forge. It's the same one I went to last year with Katrina Boyd. I think it's, if you go to crossstitchretreats.com, hers are listed on there, and that's always a lot of fun. And so this brings me to the lost and found portion of today's segment. So I found this pair of glasses in my car. Look familiar, anybody? I didn't pay attention. They've probably been in my back seat forever. And then at some point, this ended up in my purse. I was probably cleaning up my back seat, dumping everything in my purse. And I went to put these on. And they're not mine. This is not my prescription. I have no idea whose glasses these are. So I don't drive a lot of people around. So I was trying to think, who's been in my car recently? So Janet, she's on Instagram as Needle and Time. She was over not too long ago. She was in my car. So I texted her, hey, are these your glasses? No, they weren't hers. Half Stitch on Flosstube. She's been in my car recently. I said, are these yours? Nope, they weren't hers. A couple of other people that had been in my car. Okay, I have no idea whose glasses these are. I don't drive anybody but me back and forth to work. And so then I remembered that at the Cross Stitch Retreat last November, I drove several of us into town to go to dinner. And Janet and Dina were in the car with me. Dina is Half Stitch. And since there's two Dina Flosstubers in Georgia, she's Dina from the south and I'm Dina from the north. Anyway, so Janet and Dina were in the car with me, and then this lovely lady from Boone, North Carolina, who does not have FaceTime, she was in the car, and I can't for the life of me remember her name. So I'm thinking these might be hers. So if you are the lovely lady that lives on the mountain in Boone, North Carolina, and you are missing some glasses, please message me so I can get them to you. Okay, Lost and Found is over. Okay, some haul. So during spring break, I had the luck to get to go to Texas and go to a math conference in San Antonio, which was tons of fun. I'm so excited about some of the stuff that I learned there. Robotics and coding, and now I'm bugging my principal on a daily basis to buy me some robots for my classroom so I can incorporate them into math. But I thought, okay, if I'm giving up my spring break to go do math, I want to at least have a little bit of my hobby time in there. So I went to Stitches from the Heart in San Antonio, and it was a great store. It is well lit. The ladies were very nice, but they didn't hover. They realized that as stitchers, you need to have time to just walk around and absorb. And so I didn't buy much because I don't need much. But I did buy this Redbird Designs Texas Signs of Spring. The bluebonnet season had just ended. I did not see any bluebonnets when I was there. There still were some Indian paintbrushes up and about, but this time of year in Texas is absolutely beautiful. So I think I'm going to do this and then make a tote bag out of it. Use some, I think I've got some bluebonnet fabric that I can stitch around it. So I got that. I also got this because this is what's on the coffee mug that's around here somewhere. Coffee mug that Janet gave me. And I don't know, I'm just, this is all Janet Jackson to me. I belong to the Cross Stitch Nation. So wanted to do that. And I had never seen it in a store because we don't have a stitchy store. But so I got that. And then this one, so I can do it in my dough bowl for this fall. Hey There Pumpkin. Because I do call people pumpkin all the time. Pumpkin Cupcake Sunshine. So I thought that was cute, and I'd never seen that before. I'm not a huge Halloween person, and so this is, I don't know, more up my alley. And then my other bit of haul, this took some finding. So I found this teddy bear pattern. Found it on eBay. It's a discontinued pattern. But I just love the shape of his nose, his ears. Absolutely perfect. And the reason why I wanted this pattern so badly is because I have my sister's dress. Now, my sister died at the age of 19 from cystic fibrosis. She was 4 years younger than me. It was a real hard time in life. And this was the dress that she wore in her senior pictures. And so this is just one of the, I see this pattern and I think of her. She was so thin. Right here, this is her waist. This is about the size of my thigh. She was itty bitty. I don't know if there's a size on this, probably 0 or 2 or something. Have these great shoulder pads. But there's plenty of fabric here, and no one's ever going to wear this dress again. And so what I want to do is make a memory bear out of it, and make this for my mom, and put my sister's initials and birth date and death date there on the paw. So making a memory bear for mom and dad out of this. I think that they would very, very much like that. Another bit of haul, Goodwill. I never find anything good at Goodwill. But I did find this frame for 99 cents, which, there's a couple of nicks, but whatever. Now I don't have to worry about dropping it on the floor, which I would most likely do. It's a beautiful thing as is, but I have a lot of cross-stitch patterns that go this way. As a matter of fact, this Merry and Bright could go in there, but I think it's too fancy a frame for that. And so, hey, 99 cents, and it's matted. So if I do something with green, I got a mat out of that. So I was pleased with that. And then my other bit of haul, it was really more of a gift to myself. I don't really ever buy myself much of anything super nice. And yesterday, Mischievous Stitcher on her Flosstube was talking about Etsy and all the, the independent artists on there. And what they're making, and just the appreciation of the craft. Well, in December, I stumbled on this artist where he does hand-tooled leather. And when I was a little girl, my grandfather was a prison guard in South Carolina. And the prisoners there would make wallets, and they would hand-tool them, and they'd put your name on them. And so I had a wallet that had my name on it. Loved it. Oh my God, that was the most beautiful thing. And I don't know what happened to it over the years. I can remember having it in junior high, so 12, 13, 14 years old. I don't know where it went after that point. But that started my love for hand-tooled leather. I don't want to learn how to do it because I've got too many hobbies as it is. But I found this guy in Russia that makes the most beautiful work. And so I thought and thought and thought. And finally, I did it. I ordered this purse from him. It is absolutely gorgeous. And so it is hand-tooled, hand-painted. He did the strap too. His wife makes the beads. Look at all of the detail. You don't get that kind of detail on something you're just going to pick up at a store. This is truly a work of art, something that I could never, ever do. I love it. The smell of leather is still a little bit overwhelming to me. I love that he put this kind of clasp because this is never going to break. It is thick. And then, because I like things to match, he also made me a matching wallet. Again, absolutely stunning. So I know a lot of you out there do appreciate artistry and detail, and supporting the independent crafter. I love it. I will treasure this forever. Alrighty, let's see. Upcoming, what am I gonna do? I decided to work on this Mill Hill Halloween. I don't have much left of it. Obviously, I didn't center it very well. And I didn't read the directions where it says to do all the cross stitch first and then do all the beads, and so I think that's what has slowed me down. And so I pulled this out this morning, highlighted on the chart what I'd done because I hadn't done that at all, and so it makes it much easier now. I just have this little section to do and this section. I'm dying to start something new, but I feel this responsibility to get some of my other stuff done. So I feel pleased that I got 2 things done this week, and this shouldn't take me very long. So that'll be a few whips. And maybe I'll just wait until May and Stitch Mania and allow myself to start maybe a couple of things and have them going. So, all right, that's about it. Hope you all have a glorious Easter day if you celebrate. Enjoy the spring, and I'll probably see you in about a month. Bye.